Some of our questions that are going to be answered today will be concerning not just PRP, which I know a lot of you ask me about, but also exosomes. Hello, and this is Dr. Din. I am here at your service, basically going live after we've already been live on Instagram, this time on TikTok, and we're going to talk about the same thing that I was already talking about, which is hair restoration in both men and women, and the protocols that we currently offer and the ones that we're going to be offering during this summer. And partly some of our questions that are going to be answered today will be concerning not just PRP, which I know a lot of you ask me about, but also exosomes. Anyway, hi Rose. Hello. I guess this one is better. Again, I don't know exactly which question I stopped at on Instagram, but I don't have access to those questions, so I don't know. I'm going to start saying the same thing that I was saying earlier on Instagram with my cool filter on, but this time this is about I can't find that filter, but guess what? I have like this filter, which is the heart filter for you. Here's the heart. Here's the little heart. Here's the magic is in your heart. The magic of heart. The magic of putting heart in everything. Again, so with all my heart, I will be telling you the things that we do to rejuvenate and resuscitate your hair. So again, your hair is a very important component of your perception of self. And yes, there are people who lose it all the time. And if that is not a part of your perception of self, I'm sorry. That's, maybe this segment is not for you. But if you are somebody who loves your hair, who's worried about losing it, or who is already in the process of losing it, then maybe you would consider watching our show. Again, so the reason we're talking about your hair restoration today is because Giovanni already has a really good protocol that, in my opinion, gives you 99.99% successful results. And that is like a protocol that consists of 3 distinct treatments. One is a vitamin infusion, which is this cocktail of some very important minerals and nutrients which are water soluble that we place directly into your veins so that your body can receive it, especially your hair, which one of the reasons it falls is because it just doesn't get the adequate nourishment through your system anymore. So we give you one is that. Number 2 is PRP, which is easy way of saying something very fancy, which is platelet-rich plasma. So platelets is part of your blood cells. And what we basically do is that we draw your blood and we spin it and we remove the red portion and the clear portion, the serum portion of your blood that has a lot of nutrients like interleukins, stem cells, growth factors. All those things we basically extract out of your blood and put it right back into the areas of the hair loss, wherever the hair loss is occurring. There is a third part that Giovanni started doing a lot of years ago, like almost like 6-7 years ago. We started doing also a little bit of creation of channels in the areas where you are losing some of your hair follicles, and we started doing laser treatment, which would create a channel through the scalp, inside your scalp where the cells were dying, and give radio frequency energy into the dying hair follicles. And what it does is that it basically resuscitates your hair follicle into consuming the nutrients that you're also placing there, and it basically starts resurrecting itself and starts growing again. So by putting that attention and intention and some supplements and energy into the areas of your scalp where you're losing hair, we were able to give you 100% results. However, the results take a little time. The results take like almost sometimes between 90 to 120 days, which is like almost 3-4 months before you can start noticing the results. So now, for the first time, and I've used exosomes before for some people, but we only used to order it. But now we are this year also adding, for some clients who are our routine clients, a few more things into this mix. And one of the things which is super, super special, and I'm super excited about it, is exosomes. Now, if you want to see your hair growth and hair resurrection and hair restoration on a turbo boost, you want to turbo boost that area, what are you going to do? You're going to do some exosomes. And this is what today's talk is about. How Giovanni is going to really bring you to the next level of hair restoration, and that is with exosomes. So if you have never heard of it, please contact my office and definitely hear what I gotta say. How many hair restoration treatments do we need? So again, this is a very nice question. The thing is that hair restoration differs from person to person. Usually, I would recommend to start this process, do 3 treatments. I like to, in my office, do it between 4 to 6 weeks. So usually I say that, your hair cycle is like around 6 weeks. So please come between 4 to 6 weeks, please come in and do the treatment. However, after you've done with these 3 treatments, you don't want to just stop there, because usually hair loss starts occurring once you are in the pauses. So usually women start losing it around menopause or perimenopause, whatever starts happening first. And the same goes for men. Men experience menopause around in their 50s and mid 50s, and they also will start losing hair because their chemicals inside their bodies will start waning, and they will experience the loss of hair. So we recommend it for both men and women, and especially if you are somebody who has done hair transplant, then PRP is your routine maintenance treatment. And I would recommend it once every 6 months, 4 months, 6 months, it depends. Everybody has to figure out the medium where they are more stable, because what you want is that no hair loss. Now for women, we have extra things that make us lose our hair faster. One is childbirth. The other one is chemicals, all the coloring products and all the blow drying and stuff that we do to straightening, curling, all those things that we do to our hair damages it. So not just and plus for men, a lot of it is also directly related to the amount of stress they're putting their system through. So all those things matter. How does chronic skin failure affect your overall health? What is chronic skin failure? Can you get therapy done during summer? Yes. So we can, great questions. Listen, the chronic skin failure is a very important part of our or of anti-aging. Managing chronic skin failure appropriately is a very important part of anti-aging, and one of the ways to do it is with I think I'm going to move to the other office because this is very loud. All right. Oh, hair. We're doing a different things. Anyway, so chronic skin failure is a very important part of preventing chronic skin failure, as well as managing chronic skin failure is a very important part of anti-aging, and we manage it with different things. We manage it with machines, we manage it with medications, and what happens is that when you're young and when you're in the process of growing, when your skin grows all your life. But for a certain point, up until a certain point, until you're fully grown, that growth is good. It looks great. However, at some point you're fully grown, but the skin continues to grow, and at that point it starts losing its structure, its architecture, and its form. And at that point you will start noticing some sagging, some folds and stuff. And at that point, that's when you start doing some of these anti-aging treatments. Again, skin failure is not covered by your insurance. If you live in United States, the failure of your internal organs will be covered by insurance. For example, if your heart fails or if your kidneys fail, you will go to your insurance. They will spend hundreds of thousands of dollars on your body to keep you alive. However, when your skin starts failing, nobody gives a fuck. You will have to do and take care of your skin failure yourself. Now, skin failure will have an impact on your psyche, because guess what? When you were 1 cell old, the outermost layer of that cell divided into 2 organs. One was your brain and the other one was your skin. Now, your brain cells and your skin cells are old lovers. They're still friends, and they can still be friendly and care about each other. So when your brain perceives your skin as failing and declining, it does trigger a set of adverse impact on your body also. So that's chronic skin failure. And at Giovanni, we manage it with non-surgical options. If you start early on in life, you can prevent a lot of chronic skin failure for yourself. Now, if you are somebody who was not aware of this and who was not aware of the treatment options, then you may, at some point, you may have let go of yourself to a certain extent. And at that point, you'll go, if you have the resources, you will have to go and on your own, go to a surgeon, get the portion that has failed and is sagging, get it surgically excised, and then you will have to still do some of these non-surgical treatments on a routine yearly or twice yearly basis, depending on what your age and stage of failure is. Thank you for asking all these very amazing, nice questions. What are the first signs? How can I detect chronic skin failure? So great question. So the first signs of chronic skin failure is when your skin fails to restore itself. So even if you're in your 30s or 40s, you will start noticing that even if you hydrate well, even when you sleep well, even when you go for nice facials and stuff, it doesn't bring the pizzazz, the glow, the restoration back to your skin. And at that point, you realize that your body is no longer resurrecting itself. Because remember, when you're young and you go to sleep at night, your body just restores itself. It is still producing collagen. It's still in the process of, you are still absorbing a lot from your gut, and you have like essential supplies to hold yourself together. But as you get older, it becomes a little harder for body to supply itself. And for women, the battle is harder because women also give birth. And because you are creating new creatures, that takes a lot out of your body and that takes a lot out of your system. Sometimes you expand and contract several times in your life, and that weight gain and weight loss and the hormonal shifts that accompany pregnancy can have an impact on your system. A lot of women who are our skin tone, which is like I call our skin tone goals. So when you're a golden skin tone, you're especially if you are from certain parts of the world, just remember that when you are going to go through pregnancy, it can just the hormonal exposure will cause a lot of pigmentation, and that's called melasma, which is actually a mask of pregnancy. It is like a word to describe a mask of pregnancy, and basically it is this pigmentation that starts happening to women around their cheek, and that can manifest itself years after the birth of your child. And that is basically the hormonal exposure that later on, as those areas come more on top and they get exposed to sun, they start baking and become dark. And we do treat those also. Now, that is all things that, I got distracted with the pregnancy part because I know that the person who's asking this question just had a baby. So just know that if you are not restoring yourself automatically by yourself and by sleep and vacations and hair facials and hydration and nice moisturizers, that means that is the time when you should come and see somebody like myself. What does health and wellness focus on? What are what is your favorite anti-aging machine? I have a lot of favorite anti-aging machines, and through my in my 40s, I really loved Cool Sculpting, which I thought was great. As a food addict in recovery, I loved that machine because it saved me from having to totally let go of my form. And I recommend it highly to anybody who has issues with weight gain, especially in the midsection. And then in my 40s, I also loved Ultherapy, which is the non-surgical skin tightening machine. It is like a invisible sewing machine for your skin. And again, it prevents chronic skin failure. Thank you. That was a really nice question. You recently had a TEDx talk. What was it about? My TEDx was about anti-aging, and it mentioned, I shared with people my own journey into this land and how I just stumbled upon it, and how it changed my perception of self and helped me get over some of the unnecessary insecurities I carried along with me in my 20s and 30s. So for sure, it's like, if you've not seen it, please go ahead and see it. I always post it all over. Your brain and skin. What is your opinion on Ozempic? Thank you for asking that question. So Ozempic is an anti-obesity medication. Now, it is also a medication that they use for diabetics. And the Ozempic, and it has like another sister brand, Wegovy, and these drugs are being used for obesity management. I totally get it. Obesity is a big epidemic in United States and maybe all over the world, but more so in United States because of the kind of food that we eat over here and the kind of abundance of food that is not of the greatest quality in United States. So what ends up happening is that there are people who have and inflamed, because fat is an organ also in itself. It's like kind of an endocrine organ, they're beginning to find out, and it really swells up and gets inflamed with some of the things that we pour on it. So Ozempic is a medication that will allow you to not feel hungry. It actually pacifies your appetite center, so you do not get hungry. However, there are some problems that I feel that doctors fail to disclose to the patients, and one of the main side effects of Ozempic and its sister brand Wegovy is thyroid B cell and C cell cancer. So if any medication that will cause chances of increased chances of you developing cancer in your body, then I would use it with a lot of care. And I wouldn't just like prescribe it to the right, left, and center. I'd be like, dude, I know you're trying to get rid of your excess weight, but here's this medication, but it may cause cancer. So, if that is the case and people actually disclose that to you, and you do this knowingly fully well that this can do this for you, then I mean, go ahead and try it. But in my opinion, even though it is very successful, it is reminding me, the results are kind of reminding me of phentermine. Phentermine was a medication that was used for obesity management, like in the last decade when I was in my early 40s. It was like all the rage, and everybody and their mummy was on phentermine. But the problem with phentermine was that you would reduce 30-40 pounds, but the moment you would stop taking the medication, you would end up gaining back at least 60-70 pounds. So I feel that Ozempic is going to do the same shit. It is just phentermine, except with lesser cardiac side effects, because phentermine had a lot of cardiac side effects. However, Ozempic, I feel, has more endocrine side effects like thyroid stuff. But thank you for asking that question. I am one of the critics of Ozempic, and that's just me. I have trust issues, and I do like to really monitor things before I prescribe it to my followers or to myself. Thank you for asking that question. That was a very important question. What is Father's Day specials for us? Father's Day special for this Father's Day, I am offering a cool sculpting package, which is which can be done in the mid gut for your dad. If your dad has like a dad bod, guess what? Number one is that is one of the most lethal things, because a dad bod means that you have like this fat that is choking your liver and all your vital organs, and that can cause your dad to have a sudden cardiac or sudden vascular effect. So you would want them to get rid of that. So that is a good Father's Day gift to consider for your father. The other thing I want to give to an offering, it would be a facelift, and a non-surgical facelift. Now, the facelift packages can be bought for any of your faces. Remember, you have two faces. One is your public face, that is situated on top of your shoulders, how you perceive yourself and how you show yourself to the world. And there is a private face, which is in your pelvic area, and that is a face that you only share with some important people. Now, both those faces at some point in your life will need a lift at some point. And if your dad needs those lifts, you can get them at Giovanni also. So you can find out, please subscribe to my email list, and you'll get those offerings in your email. What else? Okay, guys, I think I have answered all the questions that I was asked. What is anti-aging? How is your brain? I think I answered that. Anyway, guys, Thanks for listening, and I really appreciate you. And let's meet again. I try to come live almost every other day. And if you have any further questions regarding any of the things that I just stated, please comment and comment on any of my videos, and I'd be happy to come and explain it. Take care, Mwah. And have a blessed day.